Hey guys, Bam here. So today I want to talk about league starting with a transfigured skill gem. So if you're starting with one of those gem, make sure you have an alternative to that gem. Might be a different gem or the normal version of the gem. Because if not, if you're trying to get it yourself or buy it off the trade website, it might take you some time. Especially if the skill gem is super meta because the price on it will be high. And yeah, like targeting transfigured gem is pretty hard. So on this video, I'll try to give you some tips on how you can get your hands on your skill gem faster. Alright, now if we look at all the labs, you can see that all of them, normal, cruel, merciless, and even eternal lab or the Uber lab. We don't want to talk about dedication, but they all have that. So transform a skill gem to be a random transfigured gem of the same color. So this is super random. On average, I would say green and blue gems have better odds, especially blue gems. The red skill gems, there's not a lot of them that are actually being played. It could change throughout the league, but for now, I think like there's two I can think of that are actually being played, so maybe three. So I would, if you don't know what to do with this, just use it on any blue or green spell. So make sure you have some either in your inventory when you run the lab or in your stash tab, as you can always access the stash tab when you're in the lab. It will be just next to the font. So yeah, here we go. So if you were to only target this, I would run normal labs because the normal labs are the as the fewest rooms. But on average, I would say never run the cruel lab as it is as nothing for it. But on average, I would say if you want to spam the merciless lab. Personally, I do not enjoy running labs, so I would do everything to do as few labs as possible. So what happens is that you want to, if you're trying to get a specific gem, you're trying to hit this, transform a non-transfigured skill gem to be a random transfigured version. And what does happen when you hit this is if there's a gem that only has one transfigured version, it will guarantee whatever skill you want. So yeah, this is super powerful. But of course, it's not all the time, but it only comes up at Merciless or Eternal Lab. Alright, in order to find what gem we're worth, we'll use PoeNinja into the skill gem section, and then we'll class them by 20% quality. That's the best way I found to check them out. At level 1 plus normal, you don't want any awakened gem in there. And then you can see which one are worth more. As I said, most of the ones that are pricey are green or blue, and there's a bunch of them, while the red ones are pretty uh, rare. Like right now, I would say the only two Enemy Guardian of Smiting, Multistrike, and of the Zenith, and maybe Volcanic Fissure taking. So yeah, you're better off if you're not targeting something specific. You're better off with a green or blue, but mostly green gem. But this may change next league. This is using Affliction. The meta may change a lot for the next league, so we'll see. Also, with the new crafts, maybe we get something super powerful from the new crafting system and the meta is all changed, but I doubt it. But still, you can look at it here in on PoeNinja to see what's worth swapping over. Of course, there will probably not be any gem at 8 divines this league because we won't have the affliction inflation. But yeah, you can always use this tool to get the price of the gems. Okay, there's some other stuff I didn't talk about. So exchange a support gem for a random exceptional gems. So if you don't know what exceptional gems are, it's enhance, empower, and enlighten gems. But this will not come up often. So yeah, make sure that if you find this, especially early league, use it. Even if you find, let's say, transform a non-transfigured gem to a transfigured version, I think this is even better and it's super rare. So yeah, use it. And you can only get it from Merciless or Eternal Lab, but still, from what I've heard, it's super rare on Merciless. It's still rare in Eternal, but at least it happens every once in a while. And then here we have exchange a non-exceptional support gem for its awakened version. So it could be useful to have a couple of gems that have a good awakened version. If you're not sure, just pick up a Multistrike, as awakened Multistrike is always worth a ton. Remember that if you buy them from their shop, they're like one Full of Wisdom, one Transmute, one Orb of Chance, Alteration, or Orb of Alchemy. And if we get the Awakened version, it could be worth a couple of Divines. The worst thing would be that you find this and you have nothing to use it on. Make sure you have some in your stash tab. Next, the experience is cool, but unless you have nothing else, I wouldn't pick it up. But the added quality to a gem is super useful. And if you look at Merciless, you can get up to 15, and then on Eternal Lab, 15 to 20. So this could be useful on skill gem, especially on support is not as good because you can still do the GCP recipe. So selling a level gem, a level 20 support gem with a gem cutter prism, the vendor will give you back a level 1 with 20% quality. So I would suggest only using this on skill gems and not supports, even though it might be worth in some cases. All right, next we have this, which is disabled. Now sacrifice a gem for currency items. In general, it's only bubblegum currency, so I would skip this. Maybe you can gamble and try to get something good out of it, but most of the time it's only bubblegum currency. Now this one, sacrifice a gem to gain a percentage of the total E experience stored in a Facetor's lands. So this can be good to get your main skill gem to level 20 as fast as possible. But then again, what are you going to sacrifice at first, right? You don't have any level 20 gems. So, yeah. It can be useful, but early league, not so much. And yeah, that's about it. So as you can see, of course, the Eternal Lab is the best one. But early league, you're probably better off running Merciless because you have to remember it takes fragments to enter the Eternal Lab. Yeah. So hopefully those tips help you do as few runs as possible, and maybe you can make some profit out of it while you're running the labs. But yeah, Merciless or Eternal Lab seems to be the key. Normal if you want super short runs, but again, it's extremely random. So, but never run Cruel Lab as it is the worst. Also remember that Eternal Lab has two fonts, so you can actually use it twice. So yeah, if you can afford it, make sure you use Eternal Lab and not or Uber Lab and not Merciless. But early league, the fragment for it might be rare. So yeah, I'll leave you with this clip and hope this helped you. As always, take care, guys.